Well, hello, hello, hello. Happy Friday, everyone. This is Steph Lee, founder of Host Agency Reviews. And with me today for my co host is Jenn Lee of Travel Planners International and Vacation Planners. Hello, Jenn.
Hey, Steph, it's so good to see you. I'm hoping more people are watching this so they can see your beautiful plants behind you. I'm always so envious. You've got the green touch, the green thumb touch.
Jenn knows the way to my heart. She was like, your snake plant is so lush and full. And I was like, let me tell you about it.
Exactly. And I learned something new. Snake plants bloom, not at my house, but
Yeah.
of course, yeah,
This baby is so happy over here.
yeah.
So well, let's see. If this is your first time tuning in to the Friday 15, welcome. For those of you that have tuned in before, you knew the spiel. If you have questions, we would love to answer them. Please do not be shy. No question is a dumb question. You
Mhm.
can submit yours by going to hostagencyreviews.com/Friday15. You can also read the transcript, watch the video, listen to the podcast, find all the old episodes there. So
Yeah.
you can also sign up for email alerts. It's like a one and done shop.
Yeah. I love this 15 minutes. I listen to it every single week.
Oh, yay, Jenn. Well, thank
Absolutely.
you.
Absolutely.
Well, Shayna is out on her parents' anniversary trip for the week. So hope
Yeah.
she's having a wonderful time. She will be back next week. But a couple things to mention before we get into things. So, one, we mentioned this last week, but we just dropped a new episode of Travel Agent Chatter, which those of you that listen on the podcast version, it is on season 1. And
Mm.
so this one is a really fun one. It's someone that focuses on fantasy travel. He does great branding. He does a lot of his marketing through event marketings, like different shows that are targeting his audience, and talks about some of the wins and loses. He's gotten a lot of great press and talks about how he got that. So tune in for that one. It's really fun, inspirational. Rocky's a blast to hang out with. So we'll link to that in the comments for you. Second thing to mention is you may have seen the emails go out. We talked about it a little bit last week, but we have, if you've attended Host Week in January, we are having a parallel event in the fall called, it was Tech Week and it is Tech Week on our site right now, but we've changed the name to Hardwired. Um,
Oh, I like that. Good marketing. I like
you,
it, Steph.
well, I don't name things great. Host Agency Reviews, Host Week. I'm so uncreative. Jenn, the content manager here, came up with the idea. And so kudos to Jenn on that one.
Good job,
Love
Jen.
the name. And we would love for you to sign up for it. It's a great place to see demos on different technologies specific to travel agencies, as well as you are going to be able to hear all about technology and how to really hands-on use it in your business. It's free, and we will put the link in the comments for you to register or in the show notes.
Mhm.
And then last thing I want to mention is this is not the first time we are seeing Jenn this week. If you're a big horror fan, you know that on Wednesday we went ahead and recorded, well, we had it live, but
Yes.
the webinar on growing pains got you down. Let's figure out what's next for your travel business. So we are going to link to the recording for that for you. You should check it out. It's always fun and
Yeah.
energetic and educational.
I pose questions that advisors might not want to ask themselves, but need to at this stage in their business. So it's a
Uh-huh.
good one. It's a good one.
Do you ask, did you start your morning with a popsicle?
You know what? If we could go back and
Yeah.
re-record, I would totally ask that because I have
That'd be
never
great.
started my morning with a popsicle as an adult, but I think I'm going to after talking to you.
Yep. I enjoy a popsicle nearly every day on my porch for breakfast, like any good adult does. So I was trying to tell Jenn, I was like, we need to bring this back for adults. People think it's for kids. And yes, kids like them, but they're equally as enjoyable for adults.
Mhm.
Outshine is the best brand, in my opinion,
Okay,
for
got
anyone that's curious.
I'm putting it on the shopping list. Lemon.
Perfect. Well, let's get into our questions because we've got
Yeah.
a couple of them today. So, our first one comes from Angelo. And Angelo says, I understand this podcast typically focuses on advisor questions, but as a global online travel agency, we're working to revamp our US program this year. We already have several advisors from different host agencies that use our services, and our goal is to establish preferred partnerships with those host agencies. So Angelo has been engaging with various host agencies, but he's not sure he's not fully confident that he's addressing what they truly value or need.
Got it.
So he wants to know, what are the key elements or messaging strategies you'd suggest to resonate with host agencies and demonstrate the unique value of a preferred partnership with us? And this is Angelo's from Get Your Guide. And
Yes.
Angelo, please tell Alex. I met Alex years ago. Hello. I love his photography in my Instagram feed. So, Jenn, you're the perfect person to give some insight on this. As a host agency, I'm sure you get approached by a lot of people that want to be preferred with you in the network.
Yep.
What's your advice?
So there's a couple of things. First off, I know many of our TPI advisors and vacation planners franchisees probably do business with Get Your Guide. They've been around for a long time. From a host agency perspective, what we look for in preferred partnerships is a handful of things, but most importantly is, how do you support the advisor community? At least at TPI, that is our number one question. So when we say support, in other words, is your messaging driving the consumer to do business with the travel advisor? Do you show in your messaging to the consumers the value of working with the travel advisor? And I'm going to use the word that I usually hate using when it comes to travel, just that throwaway word, value. But do you support the travel advisor out there in the consumer community? Do you support the travel advisor with a great product and great service if something goes wrong? Now, Get Your Guide isn't really a service provider in that kind of sense, but what is it that you do to support the advisor? Number one. Number two, showing how utilizing how being a partner with Get Your Guide from a host agency, our job is to make sure our advisors look like rock stars, right? So we partner with program service providers as well as travel brands that make it easy for our travel advisors to look like they are rock stars to their consumers, that they have the training materials that they need to feel confident in being able to present whatever it is the Get Your Guide is able to help them present. Ease of use, professional, gorgeous looking pictures. You just mentioned the photographer for Get Your Guide, gorgeous, sumptuous pictures that make sense. So when you're talking to a host agency, Angelo, they're probably also asking, how are you going to financially commit? That's part of the working and also the dedication. How can you financially commit to that host agency to connect with the advisor? It's not really about the money. It's about, are you opting into marketing initiatives that will put you in front of the advisor in a way that helps the advisor learn. There's nothing worse than a partner that commits to every single event, pays for speaking, and then they send someone who is not a good speaker up on the stage with a PowerPoint that's boring, that doesn't engage, because now you've ruined that event, or at least that 20 minutes of that event. You've got to build the energy back up, or get the event back on track from an educational standpoint. So, Angelo, it's really, host agencies are motivated by working with partners who help their advisors be successful, that honor and value the advisor, that commits to the advisor from a support standpoint and from a monetary standpoint, showing up in a way that is valuable. That's a long answer to that story, to that question.
No, I think it's a great answer. And I know there are some newbies tuning in. So if you are new and you're saying, what is a preferred supplier? We're going to link to our article on that so you can read up on it. But Jenn, when people are reaching out to you and they want to be connected to the person that is in charge of preferred supplier relationships, is there a typical title for that role? Mm-hmm. And what is it?
Yeah, they would be looking for somebody that's like VP of sales, VP of partner relations manager, supplier sales. That would be a good title. I would also say, you kind of brought up something I should have said. He was asking about messaging, right? It's mm-hmm. Angelo was asking about messaging. You've got to show, Angelo, that you've already done your homework and you know who the preferred partners are already that are in that same space. So I would start my email out like, I understand you have a preferred partnership with, whoever your next competitor or next best person is, right? Here's what we bring to the table that's different, because that's the other part. Before we're going to add, like, I just had somebody send me an email who does some African tours. Well, we already have 3 preferred partners at TPI and vacation planners. Like, what do you bring to the table that is so different than what African Travel can do, Live Life Safaris, or DMC, Africa DMC. I'm sorry, I got their name wrong. But anyways, so what do you bring differently to the table on behalf for our advisors? I would hit that right off the bat. Like, I understand you have these relationships. Here's where we fill a need. Here's the gap that we fill. Here's the reason why other host agencies also partner with us.
Yeah, that's a great idea to have that kind of validity of
Yeah.
the other host agencies or consortia
Yeah.
that you're associated with. Well, perfect. Hopefully, Angelo, that gives you some ideas on where to go and how to reach out to them. I think the other thing I would say, and correct me if I'm wrong, Jen, but something that's really important to host agencies and advisors is that commissions are paid and they're paid timely. And so talking about that commission process, how you're going to guarantee that these are paid within a certain amount of time.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah. That's all part of the support. How do you support the advisor?
Yep. Cool. Next question is from Shelly P. And Shelly, thank you for submitting. So we have suggestions. She's looking for suggestions for a host agency with the least amount of fees and great training with marketing. Now, this is obviously very broad, so I think we need to take a step back because Shelly, you're going to hate us because we can't answer that for you. That's like, you got to do the legwork on your own, but we are going to show you and talk with you about how you can narrow down so that you're asking the right questions so that you don't have a list of 200. You can narrow it down to a handful.
Right. Yeah. Because, Shelly, choosing the right host agency should have nothing to do with the dollar amount that you spend on the monthly fees. That plays a role, no doubt about it. But you're choosing a partner in your business. And it's interesting because I'm marinating on an article that I'm going to write for Travel Weekly, I think, that's really about the role that host agencies play and do not play in an advisor's business, right? There's a fine line, there's a fine place where you've got to ask yourself, where do you want your business to be? And then kind of go backwards and say, I want to focus on cruises, or I really want to focus on all inclusives. I live in Michigan and everyone wants to go to Mexico. Kind of start, where do you want your business to go? Who do you want to serve? And then what do host agencies, who's the right host agency? Who is the right host agency for me to partner with so that I can meet my goals?
That's exactly. So a couple things I think that might help you out here, Shelly, is one, I'm going to link to our article. This should be full of tips for you if you haven't already run across it, but tips on how to find the best host agency for you, with for you being the key thing. So there's a host agency comparison sheet in there where you can fill out information. But some of the things that I think are going to help you narrow it down is you're talking about great training. So everybody learns differently. So really thinking about what's important to you. If you really want to have in-person trainings because that's the way you learn best, or if you want to make sure that you have FAM opportunities to a certain country because you really want to learn about that country, those are things that you can look for and ask the host agency. Or if you want online training at your own time, if you want a mentoring program, all of these things are something for you to think about and write down. And then I always, like with marketing, same thing. What kind of marketing do you want to do? Email marketing? Do you want to make sure that, like, technology wise, do you want to make sure that the CRM is included with the host agency that you're with? Or do you want your own? You want it to be separate? Do you want the email marketing to hook up to your CRM? So there's a lot of things that you can narrow down to make it so that it's easier for you to find a host agency. And then, of course, you can look at fees and things like that. But take a look at the article. And if you're still having trouble, drop a line to hello@hostagencyreviews.com. And we'll see if we can help you come up with some more specifics to narrow it down. But I always tell people, like, the key thing is first, you need to envision what type of agency you have. Otherwise, you're just kind of throwing spaghetti at the wall.
Right.
Who knows?
If you don't have a direction of some sort, like, you got to kind of know who you want to serve and what do you want to serve them, right?
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's like opening up a restaurant and saying, I'm gonna serve spicy food. Well, is that Mexican spicy, Thai spicy? Like, what kind of spicy food are you going to be serving? I love what you said, Steph, though, about understanding how you learn and also community, right? So community is important too. Some people are like, I don't need that. I just want the highest tiered commissions. I don't need to be part of a community. Other people are like, I need to be part of a community so I don't feel like I'm so isolated at home. So these are all like those emotional questions, right? Those questions about you as an individual starting a business are really the ones that you need to ask yourself first, not the fees, because we're all basically the same. I mean,
Yeah. And the other thing, Shelly, is check out, I think embedded in here, yeah, there's a couple videos for you on kind of choosing. So watch the videos because it really is a very comprehensive article and I think will help you narrow it down.
mhm.
All right. Last question is for me. And
You could have
so,
just called me on this one.
now that I'm here, I'm thinking that I was like, I could have just sent her an email or set up a call,
No,
but let's share the information, share the
yeah.
wealth. So you have recently taken on the dual role of being the president for both Travel Planners International, which is a traditional host agency, non-franchise model,
Yep.
and Vacation Planners, which is the franchise division that started 2 years ago, maybe,
About
or
a year and a
a
half ago.
year? Okay, perfect. So tell us, what does that mean for the companies and advisors with you kind of straddling both of them? What's the main goal? Anything has changed from when you launched Vacation Planners?
Yes, lots have changed actually. What it means, and this is really what it is, and when I tell you guys I'm marinating on an idea, it's because I have a lot of thoughts and opinions about our industry and a lot of passion to the industry, especially for the advisors. I'm obsessed with travel advisors, and agency owners.
It's unhealthy. It's unhealthy.
It's an unhealthy obsession that I've had for like 11 years. And I plan on being unhealthy and obsessed with you crazy cats for another 10 to 15 years. But really, the reason they asked me to come over and become the president of both brands is because it was really about kind of continuing the legacy that the Gaglianos started so many, many years ago, which was the desire to provide support services and opportunities, training, marketing, all of that for folks who wanted to start their own business. What I've seen over the years, though, is that there are some people who just want to sell. That's all they want to do. They just want to sell, right? They want to make an impact in their community. They want to make an impact in their bottom line, their personal checkbook. They want to grow a business. They want to sell that business one day. They just want to sell. That's all they want to do. And then there's others who want to launch a business. It's their brand, their business, their identity. They want to build their own marketing team. They want to build their own virtual assistant. They want to build all of that. They want to make all the decisions. That's the host agency model. The franchise model is a person who just wants to sell. And so we were like, why aren't we giving this one person that might be attracted to our culture, our kind of, in your face, hard charging, sleep deprived, yet having balance, lots of joy, happiness in life, they're attracted to that culture, but we're not giving them two different models for them to choose from. Because we want to serve the person that just wants to sell and make an impact in the local community. Because quite frankly, once the brick and mortars shut down, Steph, nobody understands how to work with a travel advisor anymore. So in the franchise model, it's got some consistency, which is good for consumer awareness. And then in the host model, we wanted to continue with that. So me being the president of both of it ensures that continuity with the culture, with the branding, with the messaging. We get to kind of, our advisors benefit because we're even a bigger voice out there in the industry. And one thing we know to be true in the host agency model is you partner with a host for a variety of reasons, but one of them is buying power, influence, and access. And now we've got more buying power, more influence, a larger access, and two different models. So I was telling Steph before we started, guys, she was asking me, how you doing? And I was like, what I've learned over the last, I guess it's been 6 months now, 7 months since I've taken on both roles. What I've really learned is that you're capable of more than you think you are if you're committed to wanting to make that happen. And I'm proud of what we've been able to do at TPI and Vacation Planners. And even though I have 4 titles and 2 companies, I'm capable. I'm able to do it. It reminds me of a quote by Og Mandino: I will strain my potential until it cries for mercy. And that's not about working yourself to death. That's about really looking at your personal potential, your internal potential, and strain it. That's what you're here for. Like, strain it until it cries for mercy. Delegate, do whatever you need to do. but boy, you've been given this life and these talents and gifts that come out in passions. And I just want to see everybody do their absolute best. And you need a team to do it. You can't do it on your own, nor should you. So I don't know if that was the answer you were looking for, but our advisors benefit because it really has elevated our both of our brands in the industry even more.
Well, yay. So exciting. Thanks for the update and for accepting my question.
I get passionate about it.
I love that. So there, again, if you missed out on the webinar on Wednesday, if you're like, this 20 minutes has not been enough of Jenn Lee energy for me, you can tune in for more. So we'll again put that link out there. And Jenn, if people want to reach out to you, they have questions for you, if they want to learn more about TPI or vacation planners, how should they go about that?
Yeah, listen, 2 great emails. They're super simple. Jenn, Jenn at tpionline.com or Jenn, Jenn at vacationplanners.com, or you can text me. I give my phone number to everybody, 321-689-0521. You can just text and say, hey, Jenn, I've got a quick question. And I respond basically 7 days a week.
She's really quick at responding to texts. Just
yes, I'm a text.
FYI. Yeah. I not so great.
Yeah.
Not terrible, but not so great. I'm a little slower. Well, thank you for sharing that, Jenn. All right, Friday 15 diehards. Here's who we have coming down the pipeline the rest of August. So next week, August 15th, we will have Uniglobe Travel Center on. The following week, the 22nd of August, we are going to have Dugan's Travel. Jennifer will be co-hosting with us. And then August 29th, we're going to throw it back to Uniglobe. And I believe we're going to have April on for Uniglobe. So if you haven't already, again, make sure to leave a review for what is the name of our podcast? Friday 15. If you're listening to the podcast or the Travel Agent Chatter, whichever one, we love reviews for both. Or you could just leave a rating on iTunes. We'd really appreciate it. And with that, don't forget to sign up for email alerts or text messages for when our Friday 15s come out. It'll tell you who our co-host is, what our questions are going to be, and we'll have a direct link for you to watch the Friday 15. So again, that's on our landing page at hostagencyreviews.com/Friday15. Jenn, thank you as always. It's such a pleasure.
Pleasure is all mine, Steph, my sister from another whole family.
True story. Well, thank all of you for joining us. I hope that you were able to start your Saturday with a popsicle on your porch, your deck, your sidewalk, wherever you want, your yard. I don't care, but try it out and let me know in the comments or send us a note on how the popsicles have changed your life.
I love it.
Perfect. Well, thanks everyone. We will see you next Friday, 12 p.m. Central Time.
Bye-bye.